In Reno, Nevada, airlines and airports are beginning to face jet fuel shortages. With air travel down last year during the height of the pandemic, demand for jet fuel plummeted, reducing the share of this fuel in America's pipelines. Now that travel is increasing, airlines are short on fuel, impacting passenger flights and critical cargo. Chairman Glick, do you anticipate more widespread jet fuel shortages? Are current shortages impacting the delivery of medicines? And do you commit to working with governors, airlines, and pipeline to address this problem in a timely manner?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Kuster. This is a matter of definite concern to us. So the way it works, we regulate oil pipelines as well as natural gas pipelines. With regard to oil pipelines, if there's more demand than there is supply or capacity on that particular pipeline, it's the supply is pro-rationed out to competing users of the pipeline depending on their historic use. And as you know, because of the pandemic, jet fuel use was way down last year. And so we got into a situation with regard to the Reno airport, as you mentioned, where we got a call on Friday about this, in the sense that the demand for jet fuel is far greater than the supply based on the pro-ration share that the airlines are able to get. So there are various options. We are looking at this. There was a filing made yesterday. It's an ongoing proceeding, so I'm not allowed to talk about it, but essentially there was a request for the Commission to use its emergency authority to reallocate some of the capacity on the line, and we're taking a look at that. But there are other options that the airlines are looking to as well, including working to trucking in fuel from other parts. For instance, in the Bay Area, there's plenty of supply. Trying to get the fuel into Reno, Nevada, for instance, is of is a lot of interest there. But the problem is there isn't enough trucking capacity there, including truck drivers. So we're working with industry. We had a good meeting the other day with the airline industry, and but it is a matter that is of concern in Reno now, but it could spread to other airports. So we are monitoring this very closely and trying to work with the airline industry and other interested stakeholders to try to figure out a solution going forward.
Great. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm going to turn my attention to hydropower. Hydropower makes up more than 6% of electric generation nationwide and is the United States' second largest source of renewable energy. My bipartisan bill, the 21st Century Dams Act, lays out a bold plan to retrofit, rehabilitate, and remove dams to not only increase clean energy production through retrofitting dams for hydropower production, but improve dam safety by rehabilitating dams. And when dam owners and communities agree it's the best path forward, actually removing dams to return river ecosystems to their natural state. This bill will help us reduce carbon emissions, create a more resilient energy system, support more than 450,000 American jobs, and improve the health of our nation's rivers. Chairman Glick, can investments in hydropower aid our national efforts to move toward a distributed clean energy grid?
Well, I think hydropower has a very important role to play as we move towards a clean energy future. Obviously, it's a zero emissions technology. It also plays an important role in integrating intermittent resources, helping to integrate intermittent resources most cost effectively and efficiently. I think I understand your bill has several components to it. I would say with regard to repowering or powering non-power dams, I think there's significant potential that the Department of Energy identified substantial additional capacity that could be added by adding hydropower to non-power dams. And something we are taking a look at. We actually have a program underway as a result of legislation that passed in 2018. I would also say that there are times when the licensee or the owner or the operator of a particular hydro facility finds that it's more expensive to continue operating it, especially with regard to certain environmental conditions. And so they have come to the Commission and seeking the permission to actually dismantle or eliminate the dam in order to improve environmental conditions in the area. And so we actually have a process for that too. We work with each individual licensee on a case-by-case basis.
Great, thank you. And we'll look forward to working with you on that. So switching gears just a bit, I only have a few seconds left. I want to discuss the minimum price offer rule. MOPR artificially inflates the cost of clean energy resources. I just wanted to jump ahead here. You've opposed the MOPR far and called on grid operators to reform or eliminate the rule. Could you comment briefly? My time is up, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Thank you, Ms. Kuster, and I'll speak very quickly about it. Yes, I've been very opposed to the minimum offer price rule that's been established in the Eastern RTO capacity markets, in large part because I think it's contrary to what the Federal Power Act tells us, which is the states and not FERC have the authority over resource decision-making, and MOPRs essentially cause state-supported resources to be at a competitive disadvantage. So I understand that the various RTOs, New England, PJM, and New York are actually looking at modifications to their program, and hopefully they'll be following them soon, and we'll be considering them as expeditiously as possible.
Thank you so much for your comments. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.